Welcome home, everyone. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of making things right within ourselves, between us and the wider world. We gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.
Good morning and welcome to Wedgwood this morning. We are so glad you're here with us in person, and we're so glad that if you're listening later in the day or the week, we're glad you chose to spend time with us today. This is All Souls Remembrance Day, a day when we remember the people who have blessed our lives, who have taught us many lessons in life, some good, some bad. But we've learned from them, and they are a part of our lives, and we want to remember them today. But first, we have some announcements. Next Sunday, every Sunday morning when we have our time of celebrations and concerns and times of silence, we always say, use this time however you choose, whether it's prayer, self-reflection, meditation, whatever your beliefs lead you. So I thought it would be interesting next Sunday. I'll have a little information about different religions and how they view prayer, but would like for us to all kind of share what prayer means to us. There's no right or wrong answers. And we all are on different pages, and some of us may just say, don't believe in prayer at all. I just like to sit in the quiet sometimes. And that's perfectly fine. But become thinking some thoughts about, what does prayer really mean to you? What do you expect when you pray? Or do you use it as a time of introspection or self-reflection? And we've got Thanksgiving coming up. That's a form of prayer and meditation, is being thankful for the things we have, whether we're thanking the truck drivers who brought the food to us or the farmers. But give it some thought, and let's kind of share our thoughts about prayer next Sunday morning. And then November the 12th, Thomas Blant will be leading us. All are welcome here, immigrant stories. So we're really looking forward to that. And then the next Sunday is our Thanksgiving service. And then the Sunday after that, Betsy will be leading the service, Journey of a Family After Overdose. Betsy has a powerful, powerful message related to the loss of her son. So we look forward to that. Don't forget to vote. 2 more days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday's the 31st. It ends the 31st. So get on there and start voting. You can vote as many times as you want to. So we'll see how Wedgwood comes out in best church in Charlotte. A lot of special events coming up. November 1st, Lament the Children, that will be uptown at the square with Green Faith, of the environment and what's happening and what's we're leaving for our future generations. Then we'll be having a Thanksgiving food drive. We're waiting for more information from the pantry on what their needs are. They provide Thanksgiving meals for all their patrons, or we do. Then we have the festival in Rock Hill. We're all excited about carpooling. We need to share later what time, let's get a little closer, what time people plan to arrive, and stay. And if anybody needs a ride, we can make that available. November 21st is our Interfaith Thanksgiving service. There's information about that in the newsletter. Our International Bazaar, which this year will be held at the Refugee Support Services, and more information forthcoming on that. And then our holiday dinner at Portofino's, always a fun time. I'm looking forward to that. That's instead of the service on Sunday morning. So lots going on at Wedgwood. And Giving Tuesday will be coming up on November 28th. We want to push Wedgwood out, because not being in person now, we're even more dependent upon giving and giving online. So we'll be asking you to share on your Facebook pages and on your social media that Wedgwood Church will be participating in Giving Tuesday, and that will be coming out pretty soon. Backyard Garden Club, time to get those greens and things going for the fall to share with our food pantry. We will provide everything you need to have a couple pots or an in-ground garden or whatever you want to do. Seeds, soil, everything you need. Just contact us and we'll help you. We'll get those supplies and have them ready for the food pantry. These are our regular food pantry needs, but folks, basically anything you take, they're going to use and they're going to need. You're welcome to drop it off at my home if you'd like, and I will get it there. But there's somebody there all during the week now, from 10 to about 4 o'clock, if you can get it there. Connect with us. We're on lots of social media. Be sure and check out our website regularly. It is updated and current. So, and share us on your own social media. Contact us anytime. We were just talking this morning. We want suggestions. We want ideas. So feel free to email us or call us, and we want constructive criticism, and we want to know about needs that you have in your family as well. And be sure you get on our email list to get our newsletter, because there's a lot more information in the newsletter. And be sure you read it every week. Some people say, oh, I didn't read my newsletter. Well, be sure you read the newsletter, because there's a lot of information in that newsletter weekly, and a lot of time is spent in getting it out. I think it's a really good newsletter. And giving, we were just talking about giving. We have several ways that you can give, and we are now dependent on online giving, and we do appreciate so much everyone who gives to Wedgwood. You can mail a check, you can Venmo, PayPal, lots of different ways. If none of these work for you, just contact us. But we do appreciate so much. Small gifts add up, so don't ever think anything is too small. All right. And now Thomas will lead us in our extravagant welcome, the same we've been doing as we all respond. We are all welcome here.
Good morning. We are all welcome here. Welcome to a church.
To a church. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Welcome to a church that works for peace, justice, equality, and the care of Mother Earth.
We are all welcome here.
An extravagant welcome to you because of your gender identification, sexual orientation, ethnicity, economic situation, physical and mental challenges, doubting or believing, being depressed, or full of joy.
We are all welcome here.
We are a community of curious and creative spiritual seekers, striving to learn and embody the way of Jesus and other spiritual teachers, leaders.
We are all welcome here.
Like Jesus, we focus on the plundered and the marginalized as we try to address the major issues of our day.
We are all welcome here.
One of the ways we seek to heal the world and ourselves is through sharing parts of our personal story.
We are all welcome here. I think reading this, saying this every Sunday morning helps to remind us of who we are at Wedgwood and what our mission is, and that indeed we are all welcome here. We come to that time of celebrations and concerns, and of course, I know that dear to our hearts is the situation in the Middle East, among many other world situations. We want to all remember the people that we've lost, the people that we're going to lose, and just pray for peace. Are there anything else anybody wants to say about that, or any other concerns or celebrations?
I would just like to celebrate that my daughter is back in my life, our daughter. We had a 2-year estrangement, and I prayed and prayed. We even went back to novenas. And she came back into our lives. And I had all these conditions about her anger and her rage at certain, and her just hateful words. And I was ready to arm myself with them. And she was sincerely sorry. And I've never seen that person again since she's back in our lives since in July. She tried to take her life last December and was diagnosed bipolar, and now has medication that she's extremely compliant with. She got married in July and we were able to be a part of that. And I'm just grateful for all the prayers of everyone. Thank you.
Oh, that's a wonderful celebration today.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful celebration. Any others?
I'm just excited about life and the possibilities that come for 2024.
All right, then let's have our moment of silence that you use however your beliefs lead you. As we've mentioned, prayer, self-reflection, meditation, or just sitting in the quiet for a few moments. Amen.
Amen.
And now we have a reading, A Life Well Lived. The author is unknown, read by Betsy.
A life well lived. A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It's filled with moments, sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy of joy and pride and pleasure. A living, lasting memory our grateful hearts will treasure.
And today we want to share people that have meant something in our lives in one way or another. And perhaps in sharing Ashanti, what perhaps she learned or lessons taught or the example that she followed, we can all learn from that too, so that it passes on and it goes on with people that have influenced us. Some people in our lives have been a real challenge. And maybe we learned perseverance in situations like Betsy was just talking about. So there are lots of lessons we can learn from people around us. And I know we've all had teachers and mentors and plenty of people, but we each selected a few this morning. And if you don't have pictures and you want to share, that's fine too. But let's start with the pictures. First of all, our wonderful Reverend Dr. Nancy Leddens that we've talked about on many, many Sundays. This is her doing a baptism. And actually, it was in the old building at Wedgwood Church a number of years ago. But boy, Nancy had a real impact on all of our lives, even if we haven't known her. Just hearing her story is so impactful. and our beloved Donna Carter. I don't want to tear up here. She was our comedian, a professional comedian, performed in the comedy clubs in Charlotte and moved to Nashville and performed in clubs there. And she was diagnosed early with cancer, and she was with us on Zoom to the very end. Even when Donna could not speak anymore, you would see her name there, that she was joining us on Zoom on Sunday mornings, and kept a sense of humor to the very end. So we learned to laugh through Donna and to live our lives with laughter. And Bill Van Fleet, oh my goodness. I so loved that man and his Humanianity group. And if you don't know what Humanianity is, look it up. It was his philosophy of what church ought to be. And he said that Wedgwood is as close as Humanianity as anybody could be. But look it up. It's online. He had a Humanianity group that met at Wedgwood. It's quite an interesting philosophy. But we do meet. This picture was taken one of the last times that he was on Zoom with us. It was a screenshot that I took.
This is my parents, Verna and Joe Hansen. They were the children of sharecroppers and the first people in their family to have a college degree. That's true grit.
And they must have been amazing people to produce such an amazing son as you.
Well, I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters too.
Well, we don't know them, but we know you. I can't speak for them. I can speak for your children and grandchildren. They are awesome people too. So the genes have been handed down.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.
These are my grandparents, Gilbert and Arlene Farlow. They're my maternal grandparents, and their relationship and who they were taught me about service to God, service to others, love for each other, family, tradition, and fun. They provided all the stability in my life as a child. And I think about them still every day of my life. I miss them every day. If there's one person I wish I could see, it would be the couple that was both of them. So that's all. Thank you.
And Michael, dear
Yeah,
sweet Michael.
Yeah, this is my boy, who was a funny kid, funny adult, funny human, and was a good guy. Had a beautiful person with an ugly disease, but I remember him for the good times, the well times. And yeah, he took a piece of my heart and soul with him.
And Betsy will share more of that journey with us later this month. So you want to be sure to be here and hear that powerful message of just such a dear soul.
This is my youngest brother, Michael. He's the baby of 5 children from my mom. I didn't know my dad, so I can't say for my mom and my dad. But this is my brother Michael. I believe he died, it feels like 2 years, maybe 3 years, not too long ago. Time moving so fast I can't keep up with it. It feels like 2 years. And he was an extremely funny guy, but he was also annoying too. Yeah, he was very annoying. But I think because he was the baby, you know how the baby always tries to get the attention, and that's how he was like until he passed away. He had 5 beautiful children, wonderful children. So Mike was here, Mike is gone, but he's always remembered by his funny statements. Michael, my brother.
Younger siblings are always supposed to be annoying.
Oh my God, he was so annoying.
James is always telling me Maddie's being annoying. I say, James, she's just doing her job as a little sister.
Right.
What they do. Okay, so this is my Rondo. I loved him. I bought him when he was a baby. It's the first standard poodle that I had. I've had 3 dogs in my lifetime, and I love them all, but Rondo was very special. He was like my best one. I would always tell him, I said, "You're the best dog I ever had." And he was just just had a sweet soul and didn't bark a lot and just was very loving. Just wanted to go to the park and give some, some loving and just some loving. That's all he wanted was some loving and go running. He could run fast too, and he loved the snow. Didn't know that poodles were German dogs. So I loved him. I had to leave him behind when I came here in North Carolina in 2016, and I gave him to a friend to have and watch, and they had children. And Rondo got out the back door somehow and tried to go back to the old house, and he got hit by a car.
Oh,
So yeah, so that's my
So-
Ron man. I call him Big Boy Rondo.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
God
that
bless
is-
him.
Oh man, I got his ashes, so that's really good. Big Boy Rondo.
oh,
Yeah, Big Boy Rondo. And then here is my grandma, Helen Jean Johnson. I just called her Nan. And my mom, her birth name is Carolyn Sandra Hope, but all her life she was called Bobby because when she was little, her sister couldn't say baby and came out Bobby or something of that nature. And so she just ended up being Bobby for her entire life, even though she was Carolyn Hope. So she was known as Bobby. And both of them are wonderful, wonderful ladies. My mom was a little closed off and didn't get a lot of information from her of her history and of her childhood. She wouldn't talk a lot about it. So I couldn't get information out of her. So I love my mom and we got along very well. We were pretty close. And my grandma, if you could tell by my grandma's face, she got those little chunky cheeks and her skin was soft and she was just as sweet as she looks, just a wonderful lady and very simple philosophy she would give me, and anyway, they both were wonderful souls and I'm glad I had them in my life. I'm glad I'm part of their DNA and their legacy. So
We know where you get your pretty looks from now.
my
yes,
mom.
don't they favor?
Yeah,
Yes,
I look like
yes.
my mom, and then my
Yes,
mom
you
looks like
do.
Nan, and I look like Nan.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Nan was so sweet. She's just a sweet lady. And when she grew older and I was older, I would take her on her errands and things like that, and I would tell her why I loved her and what I remember when I was a child, and she was surprised that I remember certain things that she would do, and I just told her that I loved her and I loved taking care of her and that she could call me anytime for whatever she needs because it was my responsibility now to take care of her. So
So nice to
Yeah.
get that time to tell someone.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to because you don't know when it's time to go, So
And you know what else? Sometimes Ashante people don't feel comfortable to get that mushy. You know what I
Right.
mean, so to speak.
Right. That's right. It's hard for them to express. Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm a mushy kind of gal, so it was easy.
Me too. Me too.
So thank you. Oh, it's another one. Oh my God. This is my mom. And she's with my niece, Latanya, who is grown now and who is a grandmother now. Oh my God. So
Wow.
this is my mom, and she's so pretty,
Yes.
she's a pretty classy lady, and I love them. I mean, she didn't get everything right, but like I said, I didn't know about her childhood, so she could have had trauma that I didn't know about. But she
Yep.
had 5 children by herself, not by herself, but she took care of them by herself. And I think for whatever her trauma was, or whatever her history was, whatever her background was, I think she did a phenomenal job to take care of 5 children and kept us all
Yep.
together. And I mean, that's a lot of work.
Amen.
Yeah, to do
Amen
by
is right.
yourself, and
Yep.
whatever trauma that you're carrying with you, and dealing with that. So I praise her for that. I don't
Yep.
I don't feel bad for any of her mistakes or bad judgments or anything like that. She did
No.
what she can do as a Black female and
Yeah.
with 5 children. And I mean, kudos to you, Mom.
That's right.
Yeah, she's pretty.
This on the left was my sister-in-law, Sandy Smith. That's my brother. He's still alive.
Oh.
Sandy was we grew up together, and Sandy was the most patient, kind person I think I've ever known. She just never got frazzled, never got angry, could always calm a situation. She was like the matriarch of our family.
Wow.
She just kept everybody in line, but in such a calm and gentle way. She was the person, if you had a problem, you could go and talk to and know it wasn't going past her. Wouldn't tell you what to do, but would try to help you and encourage you and guide you. that's a person I miss every single day picking up the phone to call. That's my mom and dad. You all have heard me speak of them often. My dad was a Baptist minister who was very outspoken during civil rights about justice. And I've have a lot of stories about that time and growing up, but they both taught me about justice and equality, not talking about it, but living it and taking risk. And I miss them every day too. They were just wonderful people.
I like your stories about your dad.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
And the
He was a-
apple didn't fall far from the tree, Melanie.
Yeah.
That's where I got it. And this is dear, sweet, wonderful Mary Bell. My mother was sick a lot when I was young and was actually in the hospital in Wake Forest in Winston-Salem and was gone a lot, which took my dad there to see her. And Mary Bell stayed with us. And when I say she was like a second mother, she truly was like a second mother. I just loved her dearly. I mean, I looked for her all the time. She taught me so many lessons about love and care and just opened my eyes to many things. I would never forget her, and I tear up right now talking about her because I loved her so much. And Larry and I, she and her husband are buried. I'm going to cry. She and her husband are buried in Shelby. And when we go to put flowers on my parents' grave, we go to her and her husband's grave and put flowers as well. And I still talk to her children. I want us to also remember today the homeless who have passed away, the people whose names are never said, the people whose names maybe we don't know, the people who are buried in potter's field with no markers and no grave service. I want us to remember them today and the lives that they lived. I want us to remember the lives lost in Palestine and Israel, the sadness that's there, lives that were lived, and those lives impacted somebody. Somebody's missing them today, and somebody's remembering what they learned from them. So let's remember them and at the same time pray for peace. Does anyone have anyone you want to share or talk about that you did not send a picture? We would love to hear. Anyone else?
Thank you for all the stories and all the pictures. I want you to listen to the words of this song and let it resonate on your heart and think about your loved ones.
Absolutely beautiful, Ashanti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Last night at about 6 o'clock, Laura Hope Gill, who was one of my son's high school English teachers, and they had Mother's Weekend at his school, and I was able to sit in one of her classes. And when I did, I was just mesmerized by her. She was, oh my goodness, the most marvelous teacher I think I've ever seen. She taught literature and writing, and I've remained friends with her ever since. She's published a number of poetry books. She has written plays and theater that have been performed in London. She's just an incredible human being.
Wow.
And very much a justice fighter as well. And her partner in writing the productions in London is from Gaza. And he has now relocated to London. And they have collaborated on the theater's productions for a number of years now. And she says that he's like a brother to her. And she goes to London every summer. But he is from Gaza. And so she's very familiar with that culture. Also, she has a daughter. She is divorced, but she has a daughter. And the daughter's great-grandfather was Palestinian and owned a little shop in East Jerusalem. So she has heartfelt connections to the Middle East. And last night at 6 o'clock, she did a poetry reading of Palestinian poets. And I listened in, and she's going to do it again tonight at 6 o'clock. And she says that she believes that poetry just, in times like this, sometimes it's like, what do I do? And she says, for her, I turn to poetry. It soothes my soul. And so she's going to be reading again tonight at 6. It's live streamed off of Facebook. You can look on my page and you will see a link to her page, or just message me and I'll give you the link if you would like to listen in. But I plan to listen in tonight because it was just really fascinating poetry. This is one of the poems that she read, and I thought it was so fitting for today. Yehunda Amicha, I think is the pronunciation, but I am not sure, but it is a Palestinian poet. May I rest in peace. May I rest in peace. I who am still living say, may I have peace in the rest of my life. I want peace right now while I'm still alive. I don't want to wait like that pious man who wished for one leg at the golden chair of paradise. I want a four-legged chair right here, a plain wooden chair. I want the rest of my peace now. I've lived out my life in wars of every kind, battles without and within, close combat, face to face. The face is always my own, my lover face, my enemy face. Wars with the old weapons, sticks and stones, blunt axe, words, dull, ripping knife, love and hate. And wars with newfangled weapons, machine guns, missiles, more words, landmines exploding, love and hate. I don't want to fulfill my parents' prophecy that life is war. I want peace with all my body and all my soul. Rest me in peace. And may the people that we've named today rest in eternal peace, and may we find peace in this world.
We extinguish this flame, but we keep the light in our hearts with a message of love and justice, taking it outside of these walls to the world in which we live in until we see each other again. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.